Hello, it's Stanzione here with an introduction to financial spread trading and how you can profit from the stock market, currencies, commodities, and global financial markets. This is an introduction DVD, so I'll just go through a few benefits of financial spread trading here, and then you can watch a 30-minute clip taken from the full course. Now, the good news about financial spread trading is we can make money regardless of what markets are doing. So even if markets are going down, or whether markets are going up, and in most times there's always something going up or going down, there's still opportunities for us to profit, unlike people that just buy and hold shares, in the hope that the shares are going to go up. We can actually make money from markets trading both ways. So trading is a great way for you to make an extra income without the usual business hassles. You don't need any staff. It's just literally, you can operate yourself. You just need a laptop or even an iPad these days. You don't need any premises, and you can trade in your spare time. Most markets now trade 24 hours a day, and you can place orders even when markets are closed. So if you're running an existing business or you have an existing job, you can do this quite easily in your spare time. It's a relatively low startup capital. There's no expensive equipment. It's a well-established business. It's not like this has just started yesterday. Trading markets has been around for hundreds of years, and financial spread trading has been around for about 40 years now. So it's not like it's something that's just started up yesterday. And you can also say trade from anywhere in the world. Now, the system that I use and the system that I'll teach you takes around 15 minutes a day. Now, often on TV, you see these busy dealing rooms, you see these people stuck to trading screens. That is not the way that I make money and how I advise you make money. The way we trade is a slightly longer term way, and then we put trades in and we let them run rather than having to watch them, and to say this can all be done in 15 minutes a day. It can be done from a laptop, an iPad, a smartphone at a time that suits you. So I've got students now in 109 countries, so it doesn't really matter what time zone you're in. You can use this for financial spread betting, you can use it for CFDs, contracts for differences, an FX account, or just a regular stockbroking account. And as I already said, you can trade profit from markets going up as well as down. It's an easy to follow system, it's step by step, and it tells you when to buy and more importantly when to sell. As many times people know when they should buy, but they don't know when they should sell and get out. And of course, that's the important part. There's no jargon, there's no second guessing. Now, you may have already tried trading financial markets, or maybe you know somebody that has. And the reason why a lot of people lose money in markets is they have no plan, or they start gambling and guessing, and their emotions basically get in the way. The system that I'm going to teach you literally would take those emotions away. Now, you can also test this with a no-risk virtual account, and I'll give you some links when you get the package. And again, as I said, you can trade from up, down, and there's even ways to make money from a market going sideways. And we don't just trade one particular market. I know a lot of people like to trade or focus on currencies, but the truth is the last few years, some of my best opportunities have actually been in shares. In fact, have been in US shares. And that's the other thing. It doesn't matter if you're watching this in the UK or in Europe, you can still trade other countries' markets. For example, I trade an awful lot of US trades, even though I'm based in Europe. So there's plenty of opportunities. Now, regardless whether you're a beginner or you already trade, I'm sure I can help you how to make more money. And as I say, we don't care about the market conditions. It doesn't matter if they're going up or down, there's ways for us to make money. The other thing is, unlike many, if you get stuck, I'm here to help. I'm more than happy to help. We've got a great website and you can always email me. And the reason I believe why I've got such good feedback on the internet is the fact that I don't just sell a course and forget about you. I'm happy to give support. Now, you can find out more about the complete package at www.winonmarkets.net, and you can read more there. And as I say, if you stay on now, you'll be able to watch a 30-minute clip, which is taken actually from the 2.5 hours DVDs. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to Making Money from Financial Spread Trading. I'm Vince Stanzione. In the next 2.5 hours or so, I'll be going through the exact way I trade and invest and how you can follow me. These DVDs form part of a package which comprises the workbook, the members website where you'll find updates, tools that you can use. Whilst I talk about spread betting, or spread trading as I call it, and binary bets, let me be clear. These systems can be used on contracts for differences, CFDs, margined FX, financial futures, and of course, buying and selling shares via a broker. Regardless of which country you're in and what your trading style is, you can use this course. I've got students in 109 countries and broker contacts all around the world. The workbook has a list of suggested brokers you can use, but you can use any firm you wish. If you need help opening an account, then please get in touch. I'm also not here to sell you software. You can use any program you wish. I'll show you ShareScope today, as it's fairly easy to use and it's well priced. You can also use the course to mix and match. Maybe you've got an ISA or a SIP where you want to have longer term investments. And then you can also have a spread betting account with shorter term investments. As you'll find with our time together, I'm very down to earth. I cut through all the jargon and I tell you what happens in the real world, not what some textbook tells you. You know, I've been trading now for over 28 years. I have a very good track record and reputation for providing support and being approachable. Okay, with that, let's get started, and don't forget, the same slides I'm using, you've got them in your workbook. All right, so there's an abundance of opportunities. You know, you sometimes hear people say to me, oh, Vince, you know, the good old days, we can't make money today like we did. That's rubbish. There's great opportunity to make money from markets going up, going down, and even sideways. So get that out of your head, that there's no opportunities anymore. Also, it's a global market, and I'll talk more about that as I go through. Let's say there's a chance to make money in all markets, you know, not just going up. Most people are just conditioned that, oh, what's good to buy? I'm going to show you today how we make very good money from things going down. You know, back in 2007, 2008, I did very well from the banking crisis where a lot of people were losing money. Nice thing about this business, there's no staff. You can be a one-man, one-woman band. There's no tax on financial spread betting. There's no big red tape. There's no offices required. There's no commute. And you can literally be anywhere in the world, as I am. So with an iPad or a laptop, literally, that's all you need. There's no selling. There's no multi-level marketing or getting your friends involved. So, you know, there's a lot of good advantages. It's a low startup capital business. You know, right now, the limits for you to open an account are much lower. Back in the old days, you would need thousands to open an account, but not anymore. Today, with £1,000 or about $1,500, you can certainly get started. It's a long established and reputable business. As I already said to you, I've been doing this for 28 years. And, you know, markets have been around a long time. These are established companies. They're licensed companies that we're dealing with. So it's not a fly-by-night, get-rich scheme. Results can be achieved within days. So, you know, sometimes when people open a business, they open a restaurant, they have to wait sort of 3-4 years before they break even. Well, you know, investing and trading, of course, we can have longer term trades, but really our results can be seen very, very quickly. So that's a nice thing. Now, there's one thing we've got to get into our head. And as I say, I don't necessarily do what everybody else does. And that is, the more you work, the more you earn. I'm sure you had the same with me, and I came from an Italian background, and it was like, you know, son, you work hard, the more hours you work, the more you make. Well, that might be true in a lot of businesses, but with investing and trading, we have to be careful, because sometimes the more time we spend, we make less. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And as I go through the presentation, I'll explain that. So be careful about making this into a job. It's not necessarily a job, you see. It's about results, not about the amount of time that you actually spend sitting watching a screen. You know, you could spend 16 hours a day watching a screen all day. I can come in, do what I have to do in 20 minutes and go. And that is all you need. Retire at 65. Well, you know, most of us are living longer, which is great, but many people by the time they're 65 will realize that their pensions are nowhere near what they think they are. Nice thing about trading and investing, it will give you a chance to continue to earn income into your later age. So, you know, that's something that you need to think about. Your number one goal is lifestyle. You know, it's all very well making lots of money, but if you've got to be stuck to a screen for 16, 17 hours a day, then what's the point? You're making all this money and you know, you're going to end up in a grave. So what I want to show you today is not about grabbing the whole 100%. It's about maybe grabbing 80%. And don't worry about the other 20%. Let somebody else have it. It's just, you know, absolutely not worth it. So it's a lifestyle issue as well. It's not just, you know, I want to trade every market and, oh no, I missed an opportunity. So what? There's always going to be more opportunities that you can take anyway. So what's my aim of the program? Why are you watching this? What can I do? How can I help you? To teach simple investment and trading techniques that are going to take you no more than 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not going to make you into an investing genius. I'm not going to teach you every single thing, nor do you need to know every single thing. And as I say, as we go through, I'm going to explain a little bit about the 80-20 rule, and I'm a big fan of the 80-20 rule. And as I say, I want to show you how to make money through good times and bad times. There's a lot of people that will say, oh yeah, I can make money when share prices are going up or markets are going up. Great, but how do you survive in the bad times? Because like it or not, we're always going to get cycles. We're going to get up cycles, down cycles, and it's important that you learn how to go through, those cycles and still profit. So another point I want to talk about today is, regardless of where you're based, a lot of people watching this in the UK, some people watching Australia, many times we gravitate to our own market. So we sort of want to trade UK shares. Personally, I mainly trade US shares. It's one of the biggest markets. So it's a global marketplace. I don't want you just to concentrate on your home market just because, well, that's what everyone else does. Sometimes there's far better opportunities elsewhere. I also want to talk about currencies or foreign exchange, FX market, commodities and indices as well. I want to show you how to beat professional fund managers. A lot of the time, the so-called fund managers that you see on some of these business channels, you might think, they gave a great talk, but a lot of these guys, they don't beat the market. They don't beat an exchange traded fund or an index. I want to show you basically how you can beat these so-called professionals, because many times the little guy has more advantages than the big fund because you have flexibility that they don't have. And also, remember this, who cares the most about your money? You do. Nobody cares more about your money. If you don't care about your money, well, then you've got a problem. So putting your money with some fund manager and thinking that they're really going to look after it as well as you are, that's not going to happen. So let me talk about the way that I trade and what I'm best known for. And that's something called trend following or trend trading. So I believe it's very successful because it's how I've made a lot of my money. And even if we actually think outside of financial markets, I've made money in businesses. I made a lot of money in the car phone business. And the way I made money from the car phone business is by identifying that that was a business that I could see a trend in. So trends are not necessarily, you have trends in fashion, you have trends in lifestyle. It's not a case of just trends in numbers or financial markets, but that's what we're going to talk about today. But trend following is the style predominantly that's worked well for me, and I believe will work very well for you. It should probably be your core style. Now, there's nothing wrong with having trend following as your core style and having some contra trend or short-term trading alongside it, but keep trend trading as your main style. Don't reject this because it's simple. I know a lot of men like to make things complicated because they think, oh, it's more exciting if it's got more bells and whistles. Well, truth is, I've always found the simple things work best. Simple isn't risk-free. There's always risk, and we can manage that risk. And, trend following basically works on any freely traded market. Some of these little penny shares or very illiquid markets, well, trend following doesn't really work very well on that. But for the majority of commodities, indices, shares, trend following is a great way for you to work, to make money. I like it because you can do it at the end of the day. So there's, just literally once a day. And in many cases, I only check my trades once a week. You don't need expensive real-time data. Or, you see some of these pictures on the internet and these guys, they've got 8 screens or 12 screens. You don't need that. Trend trading allows you, say, to profit from markets going up or down. Many people think, oh, trends are only up. No, there's down trends as well. You can start trend trading with a small account, spread betting account. You can start with trend trading. And you don't need to know much really about the fundamentals, because at the end of the day, it's the price that counts. Yeah. So it's the price which is what we're really looking at. Let the trend be your friend. I'm sure you've heard of that before. What we're trying to do is identify trends. We're not going to be the first people in. We're not going to be the first people out that we believe will carry on. But like a snowball, it's like a momentum that's moving up. We can follow short, medium and long-term trends. Okay, so it's not a case that when I say trend following, you're going to be in something for years. You don't have to be. Now, personally, some of the most successful and the most profitable trades have been ones that have lasted for years. Now, there's 4 states to a market. And there's probably some others as well, but there's probably 4 main states. Stable and quiet, pretty much going sideways. And there is a way to make money, and we'll talk about fixed odds and binary bets in DVD 2. But stable and volatile, yeah, that's okay as well. Trending and quiet, and trending and volatile. Where do you think we make most of our money? Well, most of our money is made in trending and quiet, right? We like things that are not too volatile, not going crazy, maybe not in the big news headlines, because I'll tell you many times some of the big money is made not in what the headlines are saying or what the popular trade is, but trending and quiet. I'll tell you why trending and quiet can work quite well for you. You won't need as much margin, won't be as volatile, and if something's trending nicely up, these are the sort of trades, where we're talking about the plants that we want them to grow. This is the sort of charts that we're trying to identify. I'll give you a few examples. So this is an example here, and if we just look a little bit closer, Cooper Companies is basically just trending. Now, it doesn't matter what this company does. This is actually a pharmaceutical company, but it's trending. And of course, you'll always get moves that are going to go down as well. But the overall trend is moving up. It's from $30 to $131 when I'm doing this. And it doesn't matter, by the way, whether we're trading US, UK, or what have you. Don't worry about the currencies, dollars, Australian dollars. All that matters is, is something going up or down. This is another stock I've made an awful lot of money, and I still actually own it today, is British American Tobacco. Now, many of you are probably watching this thinking, tobacco, surely that's a terrible place to make money. Everyone's giving up smoking, they're banning plain packaging and all the rest of it. Well, what does the price tell you? Truth is, every smoker they lose here, they pick one up somewhere else. Tobacco firms are still doing very well. And at some stage, yeah, if they stop doing well, that's great. But, the trend is still moving up. Now, of course, we can also make money on trends going down as well. So here we've got a currency example. It's the euro against the Australian dollar. So the Australian dollar is strengthening and the euro is weakening. Remember, in any currency pairs, we're always betting one currency against another. Somebody says, oh, I want to trade the Australian dollar. Well, the Australian dollar against what? Now, normally when somebody says, oh, I'm going to buy the Australian dollar, it's normally the US dollar, which is still the default currency that you're trading against. But there's always 2 pairs. So it's the euro against the Australian dollar. So the euro is weakening and the Australian dollar is strengthening. So that's a downtrend. Here's another trend. Now, I know a lot about stocks because I'm interested, and especially in the US. This is a company called JCPenney. JCPenney is like a retailer, a bit like a sort of, Marks and Spencer's, a Debenhams if you're in the UK department store. How's JCPenney doing? Is it doing well? It ain't doing great, is it? Because the stock's gone from $80 down to $25, and in fact, it's a little bit lower than that now. So what I'm trying to get into your head is that we can make money from trends going up, going down, and it doesn't really matter if we actually know too much about the fundamentals. This is a stock in the UK, some of you might have heard of, Dixons or PC World. How's Dixons doing? Ain't doing too good, is it? Because what? Shifts are happening, people are buying off the internet, people are going into stores, checking the price, and then going off and ordering it online or what have you, but at the end of the day, it ain't doing great. Now, it might do a little bit better, short term or what have you, but the overall trend for Dixons hasn't been great. One of my favourite little cartoons is Dilbert, and I'm sitting in my box checking my stocks. I'm sitting in my box checking in my stocks. Don't check your stocks every 10 seconds. All right, the best trades are the ones that can run for weeks, months, and even years. Be careful with iPads and iPhones. I really like them. Some of the apps are phenomenal. Some of the IG Index and some of the other spread betting apps are great. You can now trade from wherever you are on the top of a mountain, or that's wonderful. That's great freedom. But be careful about checking it every few seconds and reacting when you shouldn't actually be doing anything. All right, so be careful with that. Don't check the price every 10 seconds. So we can run a trade for weeks, months, and even years. We're not bothered about daily news or prices. Give you an example, Apple, has been a very, very good uptrend. At this time, it's actually started to go a little bit weaker and a bit of a downtrend. It doesn't matter. I don't need to read the news of whether the new iPhone 6 or iPhone 7 or whatever is doing really well. The price at the end of the day, the chart will tell me what to do. And I've got no problem, I'm not married to my positions. I could be very bullish, long on Apple, it's going up and then it starts going down, and I'll cut it and I'll go short. Yeah, I'm happy to trade the market both ways. We use wider stops because we want to allow that breathing space. So smaller trade, bigger stop. We use charts, moving averages, and longer term trend lines. All right, all very simple, not expensive software, not 8 screens. And as I say, everything off a laptop or an iPad is fine. We need patience and discipline. You know, a lot of the time you will do nothing, which goes against this media that makes you think all these guys in a trading room going crazy and on phones and what have you. Truth is, a lot of the time there's nothing for you to do. If the trade is fine, you got your stop in, it's running nicely, you don't mess with it. You remember what I said earlier? Don't mess with the winning trades. Simple daily, weekly charts, enough margin capital to ride out the moves. The other thing is, you know, we don't have to be first. You know, you heard the early bird may get the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. And I know from some of the businesses I've been involved in where I've seen a business opportunity, but I've been too soon. Sometimes you're actually better being a little bit late into a market. Interesting fact, when I used to work for NatWest, they told me that NatWest could have actually been the first company to launch ATMs, cash points. But you know what? It wasn't NatWest, it was Barclays that launched the first ATM in the UK. And many say that NatWest let them launch first so they could make the mistakes first. So it's not a case of you always being the first person in the market. Many times it's fine for you to be second, third, fourth. So what I'm trying to explain is, as a trend trader, you don't have to be in right at the bottom. Yeah, we like to be in the bottom or towards the bottom, but many times we let it already start and then we join the party. Now, many people say, well, Vince, yeah, I've heard of trend trading, I've heard of turtle trading, and I've seen comments written on bulletin boards. In fact, someone just wrote a comment quite recently saying, oh yeah, that worked in the 80s or the 70s, but it doesn't work anymore. Nonsense, it still works today. How do I know? Because I'm still doing it today. Will it work in 5-10 years' time? You know what? I'm pretty much sure it will. Yes, the markets might be different. There might be a new stock we never even heard of that will be the trend. You know, the last couple of years, biotech and pharmaceuticals has been very, very good for me. I don't know what will be the next big trend, but there will always be a trend. And for it to stop working, I believe psychology would have to change. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So what can we trade? Well, you've got a huge amount of opportunities, all right? You can trade currencies or FX, commodities, things like metals, energies, grains, softs, global financial indices. Remember I said don't just concentrate on the FTSE 100 if you're in the UK or the S&P if you're in the US. There's a whole market, and global equities. And most of these markets can all be traded from one account. Starting off, you probably maybe have one account or 2 accounts. As you build up, you may have more accounts with different brokers. It's not the entry that's the hard bit, it's the exit, yeah? You know, I'll give you a tip about business. If you start up a business, a place where you will make a lot of the money is selling that business on. You know, I made a lot of money by selling the car phone business, probably made more from selling it than I actually did from running it, all right? So with trading, it's very important that the exit is what we think about, is how we get out. A lot of people spend time getting in, it's the getting out. Now, the system I'm going to give you today has an entry and an exit. All right, so it's very important we know when to sell. And I say too much time is spent on, oh, when should I buy? But when am I going to get out? And the way that we do it is mechanically. That way it cuts out the emotions, okay? Because the problem is when you have a position, you are emotionally involved. Let's give you an example. I go out and buy a black Porsche 911. And I'm driving along in my black Porsche 911. And I look around me. What do I see? Other Porsche 911s. Ah, blimey, I thought it was the only one. So what's happening is, and were those 911s on the street before? Of course they were. But the reason why you're seeing them now is because now you've got one and you become part of the crowd. It's the same with dogs. You know, you'll start noticing the same breed of dog you have and what have you, because the brain will start tuning in to news that you want to hear sometimes. Okay, let's say for instance your longer market, your long gold. Now all of a sudden you're going to start reading all the gold bugs because they agree with your position, yeah? Whereas if we make it mechanical, we don't have that. You know, I'm not saying we're going to cut all the emotions, because we're never going to do that. But by making it mechanical, we don't have as much emotion. You should never say, oh, I'm going to take my profits and get out. You know, why? There's got to be a reason, yeah? Is there a system? Has it triggered? Has it told you to sell? You know, stick to the rules. That's how thousands of planes take off and land every day. The pilot doesn't say, oh, you know what, I think I'll do something different today. No, he sticks to a checklist, he has a plan, and most of the time it works. On the whole, as I say, we'll exit via our exit rule, which takes the decision out. It makes it mechanical, and it's much easier, especially when you start out, to have a mechanical system than one where you're sort of trying and going off gut feeling or judgment, and that's why I want to push you the mechanical way. This is an example. This is off IG Index. It is to an end. I want to sort of summarize and just recap a few things and 10 little comments which, tips that I found really make a difference. And some of this might sound a little bit obvious, especially after I've gone over it, but I believe sometimes a little bit of repetition is not a bad thing. So the first thing I hope you've understood, you can make money in all market conditions. Get this thing out of your head that it's the good old days have gone and what have you. It's not true. We can make money obviously in things going up, going down, and even sideways. And I've showed with binary how you do that. Start small and build up. Listen, I've already told you, I didn't start out in this business with millions. I started out literally working as a junior. I was earning £100 a week. I saved up some money. I built up, and I compounded. And Einstein basically said, compounding interest is the greatest mathematical discovery of all time. And I absolutely believe it. And I think they say, people that understand compounding earn it, people that don't pay it. Start small, build up. Financial spread betting and trading is leverage. What it means is that we can control a big position with a relatively small amount of money. And if we do that carefully, that can work in our advantage. Compounding basically means, we build up our money. If I say I've made from £1,000 to £20,000, don't see it as linear. Don't see it as, 1,000. See it as 1,000, 1,500, maybe went to 1,300, maybe went to 2,000, 2,500. If you've read my New York Times best-selling book, The Millionaire Dropout, I actually talk about compounding and how we use that in business. Maybe you have a website and a website's making $10 a day. All right, not very exciting, but if you've got 200 sites all making $10 a day, then it becomes a little bit more interesting. You can trade numerous products. Don't want everybody just to get stuck in this FTSE 100 or Dow or just one product mentality. Yes, currencies have had some interesting times, and there's been a lot of opportunities in currencies, but I wouldn't say that the be end and end all is currencies. There are plenty of other opportunities. And if I add up the last few years where the majority of my profits have come from, it's come from actually stocks or shares in the UK. So don't just get stuck on an index, or don't just get stuck on the euro dollar. Some people say, I only want to trade the euro dollar. Well, that actually narrows your opportunity. Remember, what I'm trying to do here is give you all the opportunities, all the advantages for you to do well. So don't sabotage yourself and literally, say, I'm only going to trade one market. That really does narrow yourself down. Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, know your personality and your trading style. Some of you reading this may be a little bit older, a little bit of grey hair. Are you really going to be happy watching a screen all day? Does it really fit in with your personality? And I don't think so. So for most people, trend trading, the slightly longer term systems that I'm showing, they're going to fit with your lifestyle, your personality much better. And the truth is, you're going to make more money anyway. So again, going back to the hare and tortoise, the sort of young guy might short term make some money and what have you, but the older person with a longer term type of system, in the end, will actually do much, much better. Number 5, remember, money management is the key to survival. However sure you are that this trade or stock is going to do well and you've got a great chart and everything lines up, always make your first trade small, and if you're correct, you can add more. You can always buy to a position. Worst thing you want to be is in a huge position that you wish you weren't in. And you've stretched yourself so much that the account, because you start doing stupid things, you'll become irrational, and that's not the way forward. Some people want their hot tip, or they want the all in. It might sound very interesting or very romantic. I'm going all in on this idea. This isn't late night poker. The truth is, the way that you're going to make your money is going to be through stages. And yes, you're going to get some great wins. You're going to get some great trends as long as you leave them and let them run. but it's going to be a process. It's not going to be one trade that's going to be your lifetime trade. Cut losses and let winners run. I know everybody tells you this, but I hope what you've learned from me today is that by being more mechanical, by having a system, by having a checklist, you can make this much easier rather than you just sitting there thinking, oh, I haven't got a clue when to get out of this trade. What do I do? Keep records. Again, going back to the checklist. This is what I found. Successful traders, in fact, successful people in all walks of life, they're good at monitoring what works and what doesn't. You know, they keep diaries, they record information. And I find losing traders are very good at throwing away contract notes or not keeping records. I've had people come to me before and think they have winning systems, and then when I've looked at it closely, they've actually lost money. So it's very important that, you treat this as a business. You're not here for excitement. You're not here for fun. You're not here to impress your friends. Now, before I sound like a killjoy, you are going to make money. And with that money, you can do wonderful things and have a great time. But it's not your kicks from basically trading. I hope I've got that through to you. It's easy to get blown away from all the great software, and I'll admit it, I'm a gadget freak. I love all the bells and whistles, but be very careful with trading, business channels, news. Sometimes more is, less is more. And it's very easy sometimes people to keep sort of thinking, oh, I've got to know this, I've got to know everything. And the truth is, going back to some of these very simple systems like Davos system or, what Livermore was saying 100 years ago, it's where really you're going to make the money. By all means, use technology. By all means, use the iPad. By all means, use your iPhone or whatever product is out, the latest thing. But be careful, because you can end up over trading or doing things that you'll regret because you've got information on tap. The crowd is normally wrong. Some of the best time to buy is when the crowd is terrified and the headlines are all doom. And if everyone's bullish and you get into the back of the taxi and the guy says, oh yeah, I've just made $5,000 on corn, or I've just bought the latest Facebook IPO or whatever, you think, hold on a minute, that's not normally how it works. But again, by using charts, by using a moving average, we can get an idea, we can get a sense of what the crowd is doing and what the media, getting a sense of what's going on. And my final tip to you, really, don't feel you have to trade all the time. Gamblers bet on markets every single day. Some of the best trades you'll make are the ones that you don't make. Trading can be addictive, both for losing traders who want to get even and they want to make money. And then people that are on a roll because they've started off really well and now they think they're going to conquer the world and they've already ordered their Learjet. Truth is, as I say, take it, pace yourself. Don't feel that, you're going to conquer the world all day. Don't get down from a few losing trades. That's going to happen to you. It happens to me. It's just part of the business. All right, so let me bring this all up to an end. I hope you've enjoyed the DVD. Now, don't go and put this on the shelf and never watch it again. Obviously take a break. Use it as a referral. Go through the workbook. Go through any updates on thefinancialtrader.com. And more importantly, remember, I want you to do well. I'm here for you. If you need help, email me. Don't forget to fill in your log sheets, your trading sheets, so I can see that you've actually gone through the system. If you're going through a few losing trades, as I say, it's just part of the business. Don't take it personally. Stay steady. Don't think about your results over the next week or 2 or 3 weeks, even if they're good. I've had people come to me and they've said, oh, Vince, I've made all this money over the last 3 weeks. I've actually toned them down a little bit and said, yeah, okay, that's great. But realize it's not about 2 or 3 weeks. It's about 12 months, 24 months, and 36 months. So think a little bit further out. Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter. You've got my email address, which is on the letter, financialtrader.com. You've got a password for. It's been an absolute pleasure presenting this information to you. I hope you're going to follow it through and you're going to gain my sort of success. And please keep in touch with me. Thank you very much for watching.